favorite like female superhero?
Fictional superhero? Okay.
Yeah. If you have one that you think is pretty cool that's real, tell us that too.
No, I mean, she's not a superhero, but Salt. I love Evelyn Salt, and I'm infatuated with Angelina Jolie. So, that was that one, yeah.
Shaw's kind of my superhero.
She's nice. Nice.
Yeah, it's a good one.
She's a really good one.
Yeah.
She's funny.
Yeah.
And boy, can she shoot.
And she can eat a steak like no
That's
other.
right.
Yeah, that's good. I'll say Shaw. I'm going to be her when I grow up.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the flashbacks and like explaining different parts of your character and filling in the backstory, do you like that, or does part of you just wish the writers told you all that and you could just play that?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both. Really. I mean, it's on one hand, sometimes there's a part of me that I don't want to know too much. I just want to know, what my character knows, and then I kind of fill in. That's pretty much what I do is I make up my own scenarios, and then when Jonah writes those flashbacks, I go, oh wow, was I off? But I do like the flashbacks because not only is it a nice treat for us actors to get to see how our characters originated, but it fills in some missing holes too.
Yeah, I really like watching them, so I get excited when we have them in the episode because I just think it's a nice little part of the show, and there's been some lines in scenes that Michael and I have had lately that have come up that it seems like, oh, there's going to be a flashback about that, like just some new information.
Again, you haven't had
and
really
yeah,
any flashbacks sort of explaining your character, but you've had little bits of dialogue that suggest and lead you in different directions. Or misdirect.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see. I mean, it was fun when they had me as a little girl. It's just always fun to be like, oh, that's my little miniature me. It's cute.
What's interesting too is Shaw's relationship with John.
Yes.
And do you think he sees a little bit of himself in Shaw?
Absolutely. I don't know if Shaw returns that because I think there's a emotional stiltedness about Shaw. There's an immaturity in some way, but yeah, he definitely, I really do believe that she is kind of the mix of Finch and Reese, and he definitely sees some of herself, and they both have a lot of characteristics, and even that lone wolf, lone soldier aspect, they're not really people. They can, they're mirrors in some ways.
Now with Breaking Bad's series.
No spoilers.
I haven't even watched it myself.
Okay.
But series finales, they've gotten to be kind of a big deal.
I know.
How? So, we want the show to go 20 years from now. Person of Interest season finale. What would be your fantasy ending?
Bear runs the world.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Roots would be the machine's the one who's left, but I don't know. For me, I want it to be me and Sarah on a beach. We move the show to Hawaii.
That's right.
The island next to it is where the machine is.
Yeah.
And we're there drinking
Good old spin.
cocktails.
I'll sign up for that. I'll sign up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to think of it ending. It's because you're just really unraveling so many
it
layers.
seems like there's a lot to find out before then. So.
Yes, that's why the 20 years. 20 years.
Amy, what's been cool is watching you, like you guest starred on Grimm too, and that was neat. It was, all us Joss Whedon fans were watching you on that, saying, "Hey, it's nice to kind of have her visit that territory again," because David had worked on Angel. And what was that like to kind of do that as a guest star?
It made me feel guilty that I wasn't, not that I was mean to them, but I wasn't as, that was the first time I'd really had prosthetics on, and so I thought about all the people who on Angel had days and days of prosthetics and would complain, and I'd be like, oh, it's fine. And then I was like, no, that really is not that fun. yeah, that was a lot. It was, and then I had the old person, and I was like, oh, I don't want to look like that when I'm old. So it was interesting.
Now, Jim has talked about, I mean, he's done a lot of research, he's hung out with people, he has a familiarity with weapons, with guns. I mean, I know you've played, you've played cops in life, but you've done much research into this?
The research I've done, when I first got the role, I had about 2 weeks of 8 hours a day. There was a military advisor that kind of became my coach, and I have such a crush on this man. I love him so much. His name is James Deaver, and he's like 60 years old, but built like Arnold. He's incredible. And and we did a lot. It was like a crash course in like military training, gun training, weapon training, knife training, stunt fighting. It was that. So
in LA or here?
That was in LA and in New York. Oh. We did it both, and so there was that, and other than that, that's been pretty much it. The roles that I had before this, that even when I did play a cop on life, there really wasn't much for me to do. Like barely shot my gun, and it was just
You had to handcuff.
It was NBC. I was an NBC cop, so it was a little different.
I mean, do you do a lot of stunts? Do you do a lot of the action sequences?
They've been writing some good stuff for me, yeah, and I do most of mine. I'm always trying to argue with them and let them to get me to do more, and like I want to be the one to dangle from the ceiling and to jump off the roof and to wrestle the shark and to, and they're always having to tell me no, but one of these days I'm gonna get my way.
Well, I'm also counting the days when she ends up breaking out of that place. I think it's going to happen,
I think didn't that just air?
Yes.
I might have been behind.
I think you're
I'm always
on
scared
something.
to say anything.
I mean, it was just it was going to happen. It was going to happen. Do you know what her arc's going to be this year? Has that been discussed with you?
I don't know. You may get more information than I do.
I don't get anything.
I think they have a plan. They just
they don't share.
Maybe it's so they don't trust us that we'll be sitting here telling you guys.
Yeah.
And then in episode 18.
That's right.
How do you find the right line with Root? Because you're playing a character who, some scenes she seems like a religious fanatic. Some scenes she's perfectly calm and reasonable, and it's kind of like, she ain't stalking me. How is this nuts? It's happening. I mean, and you're sort of smiling the whole time. I mean, you're kind of smiling and lovable the whole time.
I think the thing is that I kind of feel like I have the upper hand because I have the machine in my ear. So I think that's where the sort of smiling comes by, is that I know I'm doing the right thing. And maybe the religious aspect of it as well is that I feel like my mission or my point in life is to be the carrier of her message, kind of thing.
You have this peace and this
yeah.
confidence.
So it all makes sense to me.
Do you think the machine has specifically chosen Root? Why has it chosen Root? Because they've developed a unique relationship.
That's a good question.
The machine, and the machine obviously has an interest in keeping her alive. Do you think there's a specific reason
I
she's
think
chosen
so.
her?
I think definitely. I mean, I think that's what sort of up until the end of last season, I was trying to get contact with her, and now that the fact that she's come to me and reached out to me is sort of just telling me, oh, all the stuff that you did in the past was right. You've been going down the right path, and now.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.